This is the mother and daughter, the main characters of today's movie. Both are a bit tied up in the restroom. Right now, Erin and her daughter Harper are shopping in the supermarket. Just as they are about to leave, they see a group of people lying on the ground. Erin takes a deep breath and realizes the seriousness of the situation. It's definitely a robbery. The first thing she thinks of is her daughter. While looking for a place to hide, they see the robber has taken the supermarket manager hostage. First, Erin hides her daughter in a wooden crate, and she hides behind a shelf. At this moment, Harper sees the robber physically assaulting the supermarket manager and becomes very scared. This causes an orange on the shelf to roll onto the floor. The robber immediately becomes alert and turns back to check. Knowing her daughter is in danger, Erin distracts him with a can. This draws the robber's attention towards her position. As soon as he gets closer to inspect, Erin attacks unexpectedly, then lunges to grapple with him. Because the robber is wearing a mask, he is not injured by the previous attack. Even so, Erin is not at all frightened by this tall robber. But at this moment, she is being choked by the robber. Luckily, she manages to grab an iron screwdriver and stabs him in the thigh. With this, the tables are immediately turned. After that, Erin prepares to grab the gun on the ground, but the robber snatches it back from her hand. As they are both struggling on the floor, a gunshot rings out, tearing through the entire supermarket. From then on, Erin's fate will completely change because the robber is no ordinary person. The mysterious story of the robber will be revealed later. At this moment, another robber follows the sound and rushes over. But just then the supermarket alarm blares, forcing him to flee. When he leaves, Erin quickly checks the condition of the robber lying on the ground. When she lifts his mask, she sees a familiar face, and at the same time, the robber sees her face clearly and recognizes Erin. It seems they knew each other before. Erin immediately calls for help because she wants him to survive, and her daughter Harper has seen everything from beginning to end. In the little girl's eyes, her whole world has collapsed. Erin's husband is Jordy, who is an emergency nurse. He was very panicked when this happened to his wife and child. While the guy is panicking, Erin just asks how the robber is. Jordy replies that his surgery is done. After that, Erin asks the doctor for permission to see him. It is clear that these two knew each other from before, because as soon as Erin enters the room, he calls her by another name, Kate. When she says she doesn't know him, he sits up as if going crazy, then tiredly lies back down on the bed. It seems Erin came here specifically to provoke him, because right after that, the robber goes to meet his maker. At this point, Erin breathes a sigh of relief. But what she doesn't know is that things are far from over. The next day, when Erin takes her daughter to school as usual, because the whole school already knows what happened at the supermarket yesterday, so whether it's students or teachers, everyone casts admiring glances at Erin. Even the female principal approaches her. But when she sees her picture in today's newspaper, Erin realizes something is wrong. She immediately leaves with a very worried expression. No one can understand what secret she is hiding, but she continues her part-time teaching job at her daughter's school. 5 years ago, Erin and her daughter came from the port of London to escape to Barcelona. But her train of thought is interrupted by a knock on the door. Her neighbor Emilio has come especially to inform Erin that she has an interview at the police station tomorrow. Then he takes out his mobile phone and plays a video. This is the exact scene of Erin fighting back against the robber. He wants to prepare Erin because his boss might get a hold of this. But the clever Erin has already realized his intention. Emilio is just trying to get the secret of Erin's abilities. Therefore, she refuses his help. At a neighbor's birthday party at night, Erin suddenly sees a very suspicious woman in black. As soon as the family of 3 gets home, they see the lights are on, but when they check around, they can't find anyone. The next morning, Erin goes to see the police chief. It is clear that they suspect her of causing the robber's death in the hospital. It could be that he died from post-surgery complications, or the other possibility is that someone smothered him with a pillow. Seeing their suspicion, she says she doesn't give a damn, because the video shows her daughter was very scared hiding from the robber who was holding a gun. However, the police chief says there is no video from the supermarket at all. Only now does Erin know that Emilio did not make the video public. It seems he really wants to help her. When Erin leaves, Emilio follows her. Erin acts puzzled, not knowing what he means. He then says he is just trying to help her. But it is clear that Erin does not accept help from agents. At this moment, their exchange is seen by the police chief from the floor above. On the way back, Erin notices something unusual. A black Mercedes is tailing her. As soon as she reaches the intersection, she immediately thinks of a way to escape the tail by changing direction. However, she almost causes the car behind to crash into her. It's clear that car was not targeting Erin. When Harper hears her mother mention that coming here seems to be a mistake, the little girl gets out of the car angrily. It's clear Harper loves Barcelona and doesn't want to leave, and all their actions are being secretly watched by someone. Right now, Erin is attending a student performance at school. She again sees the woman from the neighbor's party yesterday. When Erin follows, Emilio also keeps an eye on her. This time, the two women finally stand face to face. It turns out she is the thief who escaped last time, named Margot. She also knows Erin, and the two of them lunge at each other in the hallway. But because the hallway has cameras, Erin lures the opponent into a classroom. During the fight, Erin finally learns that Margot intends to take her daughter Harper away. But how could Erin let her daughter be taken away? So she immediately gets angry, headbutts and stabs a pin into her opponent's neck, then cruelly breaks her neck. When Erin doesn't know how to deal with this body, a voice is heard. It turns out it's Emilio, and he has witnessed the whole thing. So that no one knows, he immediately closes the classroom door. At this point, Erin explains that she came here to take revenge for her boyfriend. Emilio can only temporarily believe Erin, but unexpectedly, he even helps her dump the body. But it seems he still knows what he's doing. After that, they drive to a deserted mountain. The two quickly dig a hole to bury the body. Just as they are about to fill it with dirt, Emilio suddenly thinks of something, wondering if Erin wants to say a few words to Margot. However, instead of praying, she lets out a string of curses that leaves even Emilio stunned. After solving the problem, the two go their separate ways. After returning home, Erin takes a clean bath. But when she checks her daughter's photo album in her room, she sees a picture of a woman being stabbed in the shoulder with a knife, and Erin is not surprised at all that it was a scene she created. The next day, Emilio comes to see Erin to ask for a small favor, but of course, Erin doesn't agree. So he talks about the body from last night to remind her. What would happen if her husband found out everything? Emilio is also sure that this matter depends on Erin's skills. After her teaching hours, Erin gets into Emilio's car. They are going to the house of a lawyer who specializes in handling cases for gangsters. He wants Erin to break into the lawyer's house to install spyware. Erin also tells Emilio that after this, they will be even. But looking at Emilio's face, it seems he won't let her off so easily. When Erin breaks in, she sees many servants, but very quickly she breaks into the lawyer's room. However, Emilio outside sees his car returning. He immediately calls Erin, telling her to get out quickly, but Erin is determined to finish this. While she is looking for an opportunity to get out, she is seen by a maid. She screams, which makes the lawyer run over with a gun. Erin has no choice but to raise her hands and surrender. At this moment, Erin acts unexpectedly, knocking the gun out of the lawyer's hand, then runs to the balcony and, without hesitation, jumps into the sea below. All of this is seen by Emilio from a distance. He is completely stunned. How can Erin be so agile? At this point, Erin successfully surfaces from the water, then walks to a store and changes into a t-shirt. After that, Emilio returns home anxiously waiting for Erin. As soon as Erin walks in, he becomes very excited, followed by a shower of praise for her. To be honest, Erin's husband also finds his attitude annoying. And what they don't know is that the problem is not over yet. The next day, Erin goes to Emilio's house, but no one is home, only a phone dropped on the floor. Luckily, there is a car positioning signal in the phone. After arranging for her daughter, she goes to the address from the navigation. Sure enough, the car from the positioning is parked there, but the iron gate is tightly closed. So Erin immediately rams the car door, causing it to set off an alarm. Soon after, a guy comes out to deal with the car, and as he goes back inside, Erin quickly runs to stop the gate from closing. At this point, she sees Emilio tied to a chair. Because the lawyer had colluded with other agents, he quickly found and captured Emilio easily. At this moment, she gets the taser and takes down the henchman. The lawyer rushes over and is also taken down by her shortly after. Taking this opportunity, she unties Emilio. However, the other guys hear the noise and rush over. Erin can only temporarily close the front door. Since Emilio is injured, he will try to escape first, while Erin stays behind to stop the pursuit of the henchman. Erin uses a bedsheet to block the opponent's view and throws a kick, followed by another kick to his groin. But he is still very persistent and rushes to catch Erin. At this moment, Emilio comes back and grabs him, both falling to the floor below. The henchman wakes up and is about to finish off Emilio. Luckily, Erin appears in time and knees him in the head. After that, they both hurriedly get into the car and flee. At this point, Erin asks Emilio for the truth behind it all. It turns out that Emilio was set up and owes the lawyer Augustin a large sum of money. He said he would clear the debt if he provided him with internal police information. However, it was never enough for him, so Emilio tried to take Augustin down. Right now, they can't go to the hospital for fear of Emilio's superiors finding out. Erin can only buy some painkillers and bandages. But while Erin is buying things at the pharmacy, something unexpected happens. The lawyer Augustin has actually found his way here. As soon as he sees her, Augustin also exclaims, "Who are you?" which makes him very curious. He then raises his phone to take a picture of Erin and leaves. Erin immediately knows that something is wrong and follows him. Since he is a lawyer, he will definitely have many connections through which he can find out Erin's real background. Erin begs him not to send that photo. Just as Augustin refuses to accept her plea, a car hits him. It turns out it was Emilio who did it. Immediately after, Erin takes his phone and gets in the car to flee. And at this point, things seem to be getting more and more complicated. Emilio certainly has more unknown secrets, and Erin is now completely drawn into his troubles. Returning home, Erin also can't believe what has happened. She starts checking Augustin's phone again, but then she discovers her shirt is stained with blood. When she wants to clean it with water, the tap has been broken for who knows how long. In a fit of anger, she uses a bit too much force. This worries her husband, who has to run to turn it off. Unable to tell her husband the truth, Erin says it's because the school didn't hire her as a full-time teacher, thus also avoiding Jordy's suspicion. However, things are not that simple. Harper, for some reason, is always staring at one place. That day, while she was brushing her teeth, in front of the mirror was not only her, but also the silhouette of a figure with a deer's head. This scared Harper very much. In a forest, a dog accidentally discovers Margot's body. No one could have expected it to be discovered so soon, in just 3 days. The investigation agency arrives immediately. Emilio calls Erin to tell her about the current situation. He tells her not to worry too much because the police do not yet have information about the woman's identity. At this time, thanks to a quick check, Erin knows that last night Augustin sent her photo to someone named Valeria. Although he died last night, the urgent message was sent to that assistant. But it's a blurry photo, so the chance of recognizing Erin is very low. Therefore, after leaving her daughter with a neighbor, she drives to the place of Augustin's assistant, Valeria. Seeing Erin approach, she immediately fights back with a knife. However, the knife is easily controlled by Erin. Then she gets straight to the point and asks her to delete her photo. But at this moment, Valeria is very curious how Erin knows her address. Of course, Erin can't tell her that Emilio told her. At this moment, there is another knock on the door. As soon as the door opens, 2 men rush inside. They immediately subdue the 2 women as if they are looking for something. Valeria manages to grab a rock and knock out the man holding her, but just as she reaches the door, she is caught by the other guy. Erin grabs a box and rushes to attack him. When he is knocked down, all the money inside is also blown away on the stairs. Taking advantage of this situation, Erin pulls Valeria into the elevator. But after getting out of the elevator, Valeria still doesn't want to miss the money on the floor. Luckily, Erin pulls her away in time because just moments later, the 2 thugs fire 2 shots at the back of Erin's car. At this point, Valeria is very unhappy because she just lost 12,000 euros. This is the money she saved for 5 years working with Augustin. Each time, she took a little from Augustin's money laundering deals. Thinking that the lost money was all Erin's fault, Valeria tells her to bring the money to her at 12 noon tomorrow. Otherwise, she will send Erin's photo to everyone in her contact list. At this moment, there is also a police car in front of them by chance. Not wanting to get into trouble, Erin has no choice but to let Valeria leave. All she can do now is find a way to get money, and in her account right now, she only has a little over 800 euros. So, Erin decides to sell her necklace, then calls Valeria to specify the location and time of the meeting. Meanwhile, on this side, while her daughter Harper is being looked after by her female neighbor Penelope, the power in the house suddenly goes out. Just as Penelope goes to check the electric meter, Harper hears a voice next to her. It is the man with the deer head appearing behind her again. When Penelope returns, she only sees the little girl screaming in fear. Later, she tells Erin about this. Therefore, to spend more time with her daughter, Erin participates in a doubles tennis tournament organized in the community. And time is slowly passing. At this time, Valeria is anxiously waiting in the hotel but cannot get in touch with Erin. Erin has deliberately lost the match and quickly drives to the appointed location, because Valeria has sent her the photo and threatened to send it to many other people. As soon as she arrives at the location, Erin brings a gun with her. After entering the hotel door, she checks to see if there is anyone else in the room. Then she takes out 3,000 euros. Obviously, the amount Valeria wants is 12,000, but of course, Erin says she can't get that amount of money so quickly. Moreover, the previous amount of money was not Valeria's anyway. She has no other choice but to hand over the phone. However, a bigger danger is emerging, which is that because Erin was late, she has informed the gang members that Erin will be here. Valeria really wants to trade Erin for her own freedom. This makes Erin really angry. Just as she is confirming whether Valeria has sent her picture to the gangsters, the thugs working with Augustin have arrived downstairs. At this time, Erin is not scared at all. She then asks Valeria to find a place to hide first, then grabs a fire extinguisher and takes down the two guys who just walked in the door. After that, she and Valeria run out into the hallway. But at this moment, she forgets her money bag and turns back. As a result, being slow, Valeria is shot down by a guy. Erin has no choice but to continue running downstairs and shoots down the guy in front of her. Then she hides behind a car, calmly trying to deal with the remaining guys. After a frantic shootout, her ammunition is almost gone. When Erin looks at the car leaking gasoline, she fires a shot, creating a huge explosion. Seeing her run away, the remaining thugs immediately get in their cars and chase after her. As soon as she is surrounded, Erin discovers a large truck passing over a bridge. She immediately climbs over the railing and successfully jumps down. But then, due to carelessness, she rolls onto the grass on the side of the road. When she vaguely looks up in the sunlight, she sees a figure wearing a deer head. What is Erin's past really like? Why is she so afraid of others finding out about her past? When Erin was 6 years old, her parents left for unknown reasons, with no news at all, so Erin was taken to an orphanage. After that, she successfully joined the police academy in England. Although her performance was excellent, because she once had a conflict with a male cadet in her class, she was expelled from the police academy. But before that, Erin had been noticed by Armstrong, a man from MI6. So Armstrong took Erin to be trained as an agent. The first mission her commander gave her was to infiltrate a very aggressive criminal group in England. This gang was led by Thomas, and the first people she needed to approach were the couple Margot and Gasper. Erin showed off her driving skills to impress them. As a member of the gang, Erin befriended a person named Lena, Harper's biological mother, when the girl was 5 years old. And under Lena's assurance, she gained Thomas's trust. When Erin first met Harper, she had a very strong impression of the little girl. She seemed to want to snatch Harper from Lena's hands. She even wanted Armstrong to stop the mission. But how could that happen? It was impossible to stop an anti-crime mission just for a child. As soon as Erin was chosen, she was destined for this mission. She didn't even have an identity. It seemed she was just a pawn for MI6. To get along with Lena, Erin became closer and closer to Harper. And at that time, a bold plan was formed in her mind. Erin really wanted to take this child away from this place. To ensure this operation, she asked Armstrong what would happen to the child if all the criminals were caught. He replied very coldly that she didn't need to worry about that. The children of gangsters didn't need pity. This statement made Erin decide to take the child away from here. After that, she had a conversation with Lena about Harper's future. Lena said that after this job was done, she would go to Spain with her daughter. She even suggested that Erin go to Spain with her. Seeing Lena's sincere invitation, she was a little moved. At this time, the gang's robbery began, and Lena had prepared a deer-shaped mask for herself. What she didn't know was that it would bring trauma to Harper later on. That night, they successfully broke into the bank's vault, then quickly took control of everyone there. The time was 5 minutes. They needed to get the gold out of there. They started wrapping iron chains around the gold transport vehicle and pulling it over. Then they placed a bomb and detonated it, blowing the vehicle's door open. Then the whole gang collected tons of gold from inside. And just at this moment, Erin couldn't see Lena anywhere. Sure enough, she had been discovered by a security guard. Luckily, Erin appeared in time to rescue her. As the gang fled, the bank's alarm went off. The police were immediately behind them. But the police car's tires were shot, and it overturned. After seeing that no one was chasing them, the group took off their masks. Just as they thought their escape was safe, the police simultaneously burst into the warehouse door. There were many police officers, so it would be difficult for them to escape this time. At this point, Erin began her own plan. She started to find a way to rescue Harper first. But at this moment, Lena was also shot by the police. The scene of her falling was seen by Harper. Erin had reached Harper, but on the way to escape, she saw her mother lying in a pool of blood. In the chaos, Erin drove the car and took both of them away from there. After that, she took Harper to Barcelona, Spain. By the time Harper was 7 years old, she no longer remembered much of the events of that day. But she began to be curious because every family with children has pictures taken from when they were babies, while she didn't have any pictures of her childhood. Of course, Erin couldn't answer these questions. After that, Harper began to think for herself and redraw her family tree based on a few memories. Geordie, who was beside her, saw the drawing. It showed that Erin was not her biological mother. Geordie was quite surprised by this. So he went down to the basement to look for information about Harper. The relatives line was marked unknown. Only then did Geordie realize that Erin was hiding something from him. In a prison somewhere in England, Lena is being held in custody. It turns out she was saved after being shot that day. After 5 years in prison, she never forgot her daughter. At this moment, the news of Margot's murder caught her attention. Now, Lena is at her workplace in prison, but the owner does not allow her to touch her computer. As a result, the two get into a struggle. It seems she has realized that her daughter is still alive. Returning to the moment when Erin fell to the side of the road, when she woke up, she found herself in a hospital. And this was no longer in Barcelona. At this moment, she saw a police officer approaching. She then began to find a way to escape from the hospital. Just as Erin was about to go down the stairs, another female police officer came up. Erin immediately turned back and stole a surgical gown, hiding in a room. As soon as the female police officer arrived, she had already changed her clothes and came out. But when she entered the elevator, the police officer also quickly stepped in. He immediately reminded Erin that her clothes were not neat. Unexpectedly, Erin spoke English with an English accent. This made the male police officer start paying attention to her. As soon as Erin stepped out, he immediately followed her. At this moment, a seriously injured person was being brought in for emergency treatment. So Erin immediately took charge and led them inside. In this way, she got rid of the male police officer who was following her. After that, Erin ran upstairs and went into a place that was under renovation. Because Erin had been missing for a day and a night, she immediately called her husband. It was clear that Jordi was very angry at this moment. On top of that, Erin's phone ran out of battery and turned off. Just at this moment, the male police officer found her right in front of her. Erin immediately ran away across the low rooftops. Then she jumped onto a car and went down very smoothly. But at this moment, the female police officer had driven up to block her way. Erin immediately threw a kick without hesitation and took her down, then stole the car and successfully escaped. But every police car has a GPS tracker. So Erin called Emilio to ask for his help. He immediately hacked into the police system to assist her. Although there were many cars chasing her from behind, in the end, Erin is a professional. She drove smoothly on the streets of Spain, and even reversing was not a problem. After many rounds of pursuit on the streets, Erin successfully rammed the car that was chasing her. Just like that, she successfully escaped. With the support of Emilio, she reached a bridge. Finally, he also arrived and took her back. But now there is another problem, which is how to explain to her husband that she was missing for a day and a night. When Erin faced Jordi, she said that she was an alcoholic, and then because she was too drunk, she went all the way to the outskirts of the city. Of course, Jordi was very dissatisfied with her answer. At the same time, he was also very disappointed because he knew very well that Erin was lying to him. When Erin returned to Harper, the little girl was also angry because she was afraid that Erin would abandon her and never come back. It seems that Harper has regained her childhood memories. But when Erin saw the family tree Harper drew, Lena was an aunt, not her mother. The next day, Erin looked at her daughter's picture book again. It had an additional page with 5 interesting head portraits. It seems the little girl really remembered everything. It was clear that she was trying to get Erin to confess everything. The next day, Harper suddenly asked Erin about her mother, Lena. Erin knew she couldn't hide it anymore, so she told the whole truth. Harper also knew that on that day, her mother Lena was shot. Erin was also very sorry for that, and they both thought she was dead. At this moment, Harper asked again if Erin loved her. She frankly replied that Harper was always her most beloved daughter. After getting the answer, the two shared a warm hug. After taking their daughter to a party at her classmate's house, Erin and Jordi went to the bar where they first met. The two of them really sat down and talked about many things. Until he asked about Erin's true identity, the two had a disagreement. He angrily left Erin behind and went out. At this moment, the police received an urgent message from the British police about the robbers they were looking for. And a strange thing was that of all the information sent from the United Kingdom, only one robber had blank information, no fingerprints, and only one name, Kate. After that, Emilio predicted that Erin was the fugitive robber. But when he reported to his superior, he was rejected. So he went back to continue investigating the criminal organization involved in drug trafficking. Through that, they seized a lot of contraband. That night, Emilio was attacked by a guy on a motorcycle. He threw a flare at the car, forcing him to get out. Based on the clue, he went to a bullfighting ring. While he was reporting to Erin, he was attacked by a guy. After a few punches, Emilio was taken down by him. At this time, Erin had already run to the bullfighting ring. Emilio was surrounded by a group of people. The leader, Daniel, asked about the day he stabbed the lawyer to death and that there was a girl with him at that time. He really wanted to know who she was. At this moment, he held a knife to threaten him. However, he still refused to tell him Erin's name. In the arena, Erin saw the scene below. But at that moment, Daniel had already finished off Emilio. Erin's loud scream attracted the thugs below, so they began a chase after her. But the guy Daniel quickly caught Erin, but he let her go easily. It turns out that Erin is the tutor for his son, so Daniel went to see Erin at school today. He warned Erin to keep quiet by threatening her family, and at the same time, he would sponsor the education of Emilio's son. Erin had no way out, so she could only accept his conditions. To protect her daughter, Erin let Harper go with Jordy to his hometown for a few days. But just as they drove away, Daniel's henchman broke into Erin's kitchen. He leisurely finished eating and walked away without saying a word. Daniel had brought threats into her own home, so how could Erin let this happen? So she started a revenge plan. To make her assassination operation go smoothly, she practiced drawing her gun quickly. The next morning, Erin was woken up by her female neighbor, Penelope. It turned out that Penelope had invited Erin to attend a memorial service for Emilio. Everything withered at its most glorious moment. It was time to put an end to all these potential dangers. When leaving the party, Erin checked the TikTok profile of Daniel's son. Through that, she found their current hotel address. Very quickly, Erin saw Daniel's presence. She followed the crowd into the hotel lobby. At this time, Daniel was asking his son to go out with his friends. When Erin quietly entered the room, she got rid of the cumbersome things and took out her gun. However, Daniel's subordinate noticed the situation and stepped in. Facing Erin's gun, he showed no fear. With just one kick, he knocked the gun out of her hand. He was really agile, but Erin also quickly calmed down. She immediately closed in on him to fight and responded with a series of beautiful kicks. But then she was careless and was thrown to the floor and quickly choked. But Erin quickly escaped and somersaulted behind him. Next was to grab the champagne bottle next to her and hit him straight in the face. At this moment, Daniel came out. He was also very curious who Erin was to be so strong. But she only said that she was Emilio's friend and would not be bought by him. After that, Erin punched Daniel in the face and picked up the gun. Only at this moment did he open his mouth to beg, saying that his son was about to return to the room, and what would happen if he saw his father dead. Because she was soft-hearted, Erin missed the best opportunity to kill Daniel. When she left the hotel, she threw the pistol into the trash can. On Lena's side, when she learned about the news of Margot, she also saw Erin's picture appear in the newspaper. And because she had attacked someone else, she was sent to a harsher prison. That day, Lena took out a hairpin and a photo from under her bed, then pretended to cough while on the way and began to open her handcuffs. In this way, she successfully escaped. Because the car only had one guard and one driver, she escaped very easily. Very soon after, Lena found Erin's neighbor, Penelope. With her persuasion, Lena found out where Erin was. Very quickly, Lena found Erin at a bar. This also surprised Erin quite a bit because she thought Lena was dead. At this moment, she asked where Harper was now. Erin could only say that the little girl was at her husband's hometown. So in the morning, Lena asked Erin to take her there. If she took Lena there, Erin would have no more secrets. So Erin told her where she was hiding the gold. Hearing this, Lena completely forgot about seeing her daughter and asked Erin to take her to the hiding place of the gold first. The place they went to was a deserted mountainous area. Just like that, the two of them walked a long way up the mountain. Finally, they reached the hiding place, which was a hole between the rocks. Finally, Lena got the gold. But at this moment, she shot Erin in the stomach. Immediately, she fell down in pain and unconscious. At this time, Harper and Jordy have returned to their home. But what they don't know is that danger is approaching. At the same time, Erin vaguely regained consciousness and tried to get up. Luckily, she found some campers' tents and a first aid kit there. After carefully bandaging her wound, Erin stole a car to start heading home. Because at this time, Lena had already come to her house. The first time she saw Harper after 5 years, Lena shed tears. When the little girl and Jordy went to buy things, Lena quickly went downstairs to get a photo. But just at this moment, Daniel's henchman came and knocked her out. When she woke up, she found herself in Daniel's warehouse. It was clear that Daniel didn't know Lena, but she knew him. It turned out that Daniel and Thomas were friends in Spain. At that time, she had told Erin that she would go to Spain after getting the gold, which was to find this person. Now, a very big secret has been revealed. Erin was an undercover cop who ruined the entire mission that day, and the real big shot behind that operation was Daniel. That means Erin is the traitor Daniel is looking for. When he heard this information, he couldn't swallow his anger at all. It was Erin who made him lose all the gold. Daniel's subordinate brought the news that Erin had returned home. Daniel now has more reasons to kill her. So he immediately sent an assassin to do the job. But at this time, Lena seemed very scared. She was afraid that this fight would affect her daughter, Harper. So at this time, she offered to trade the gold for her daughter's safety. Daniel agreed to the condition because of the gold, although this gold originally belonged to him. At this time, Erin has returned to the fear of Jordy and his daughter, but they can't go to the hospital at this time. So Jordy has to treat her wound himself. While stitching the wound, Erin told him to take Harper to a safe place first. Jordy didn't understand what was going on. He could only follow Erin's words. She suddenly found a photo on the ground and immediately realized that Lena had been here. To prepare to face the assassin, Erin injected herself with a shot of adrenaline in her leg. As soon as the first assassin arrived, she was taken care of with the refrigerator door. After that, she set up a wooden table to shield herself. Waiting until he ran out of bullets, she immediately counterattacked. Finally, he was completely defeated. But just as Erin walked out of the kitchen, another guy was waiting for her outside. She immediately rushed forward and knocked him out through the glass door. While he was unconscious, Erin jumped over the fence to the neighbor's yard. At this time, a guy approached, but before he could draw his gun, he was thrown into the swimming pool by Erin. Very soon after, Erin hid in a wooden house. But at this moment, a female assassin had come here to hunt her down. Before she understood what was happening, Erin was attacked by her unexpectedly. During the fight, Erin picked up a champagne bottle cap and stabbed her in the stomach. Next was to directly pierce the opponent's palm. Next was to throw a kick that made the female assassin roll over and over. Finally, she finished her off with a punch to the nose. Another guy who had just entered was kicked out by Erin. As she was running away, she accidentally bumped into the neighbor's car. She immediately got in the car and asked Penelope to drive away quickly. On Lena's side, she had sent a message to contact Harper. Seeing that she wanted to find her daughter, Daniel allowed her to leave. But as soon as Lena left, he had someone follow her. Jordy and Harper had gone to Erin's colleague's house. Soon after, Lena came to see her daughter. Standing in front of the little girl, perhaps she didn't need to prove much. It was clear that Harper still recognized Lena as her biological mother. But they had been separated for 5 years, so it was difficult for Harper to accept it right away. As soon as Lena tried to hug Harper, she was pushed away by the little girl. The sound of the broken glass startled the two people in the room. Immediately, Harper did not hesitate to run to Jordy. It was clear that their current argument was meaningless. Regardless of whose daughter Harper was, the most important thing was her own feelings. But when Harper followed Jordy to the door, Daniel's soldiers came and took them away. It was clear that these guys had followed Lena to find them. Now they were also asking Lena to pass this information to Erin. It was clear that this was a deal that Erin had to accept. So Lena went to see Erin to discuss how to save them. However, her appearance made Erin very angry. But now they have a common enemy, so personal feelings will be temporarily set aside. Just like that, Erin cooperated with Lena, pretending to be caught by her and taken to the transaction location. Then approached Daniel, find a way to kill him and save the people. However, an idea is still just an idea, because last time Daniel was almost shot to death by Erin, so this time he was very cautious. At this time, Lena and Erin made eye contact as if ready to act. As soon as they had the chance, they successfully disarmed the two henchmen. However, Daniel didn't care about the life and death of his henchmen and immediately opened fire. The fight broke out, and Erin and Lena were immediately surrounded. They really had no chance to escape. There was only one way. One person would go out to hold off the henchmen, and the other would find a way to rescue Jordy and his daughter. Just as Erin was ready to sacrifice herself, Lena stopped her. She made the decision that the one to be sacrificed would be herself. After the two hugged each other, they went their separate ways. Under their pursuit, Lena was quickly shot down. At this moment, she decided to blow up the large oil drum next to her. The power of the explosion not only destroyed the enemy, but everything around was also set on fire. Erin also knew that Lena had sacrificed herself. After that, she found Daniel's office. When she knew that Harper and Jordy were safe, she asked them to leave quickly. As soon as Daniel picked up his gun, Erin was one step ahead of him. Just like that, the drug lord fell at her hands. Everything is over, and Erin's family is on a vacation. But unexpectedly, at this time, her former boss, Armstrong, has come here. He said that a new mission is about to begin for Erin. The movie ends here. If you guys enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a subscription for Bond. See you guys in the newest videos.